I always go to his commentaries also. Very interesting and very rational, as I told you. All these people, that is why it appeals to me. Very rationalistic, very logical, and scientific basis. As we know, Bhagavad Gita is a supreme science only. We should call it as a science because it's a verifiable truth with proper methodology as described. They have given all the protocols, how it should be followed. Everything is given. We only need to follow. In fact, that is where we stopped in the chapter 16, where we said that last two shlokas, Krishna talks about the 16th chapter, if you remember, it dealt with divine and non divine, divine and demoniac attributes of a human being, how people can be existing in the divine, with the divine qualities, with demoniac qualities. And one individual himself or herself can become divine at times and demoniac at times. Whole struggle of life is to move towards divinity. Nobody is completely divine, nobody is completely demoniac. The proportion, percentage of divine qualities varies. It's a very dynamic thing. Continuous and consistently, if we put our efforts, then we can be stable in our move towards consistently, we will be moving towards divine qualities. That should be our aim. In the end, he says, in the last two shlokas, Krishna says very clearly that how we should know about divine, non divine. Let's say in this birth, we may be having some divine quality, some demonia. How should anybody, how will anyone come to know what should be done, what should not be done? He says, follow the scriptures. He emphasizes that since we don't know, scriptures are written by great saints who are realized souls. And Bhagavad Gita is saying from Krishna himself. If someone has faith, or if he wants to even experiment, even if you don't have that much of faith in Krishna, but have faith in that something may come out. Something may come out. Let me go through that. With that faith, if somebody opens these scriptures, Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, and Bhagavad Gita, these are called as Shrutis. These are very rational, universal. And there are also Smritis like Puranas. So you can read any of them, which will give us the good direction to life. So those who do not follow Shastras, then they don't know how to, because who will tell us? We cannot trust any of our relatives or friends, because everybody is having they are bundles of perfections and imperfections. You will find them, they are very perfect soul. Suddenly they start showing their negative qualities and you feel, what is this person, how can I trust him? Like that, no man is perfect except a holy person. So they also believe in Shastras. So we can go to holy persons, we can read the Shastras, we can have gurus, any of them. With that, our journey towards divinity can start. And we are all already, this team, Akshay Sarthi Satsang group, is already into that, and viewers also. They are also following in one way or the other by listening to these videos. Many people watch later. So we are following that, and therefore our journey direction is right. I don't say we have reached the end. There is a long way to go, but the direction is correct. So that is giving at every step. And if you can verify also, ideally, we should not check, they say, the spiritual progress, but without checking, it will become evident by the our physical health, mental health, emotional health, uh, and spiritual well-being also. It will be very obvious for ourselves. If you see 3 4 years back, what used to bother me no longer bothers me, because I have learned the art of understanding, or I have got some wisdom to accept certain things as they are, and to fight certain things which I can possibly do, and where I should fight, where I should not fight. To some extent, our conscience has grown, and that is what is explained now in this chapter, which is called Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. Shraddha Traya. Shraddha is, so far we have seen that Shraddha means the faith, and also complete devotion to whatever you do. Shraddha. Shraddheinda kelsa madodu, full commitment. That means we have faith in what we do. And the faith, ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವುದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೊರೆಯುವೆ ನಾನು. That is what Ramakrishna's one song, Bengali, translated into Kannada. I sang the other day, no? Where am I? God is saying, wherever there is Shraddha, I am there. Today, they take it to a different context. Shraddha is correct. So it's very interesting. The translation is inquiry into threefold Shraddha. Shraddha Traya. Shraddha is not one. Krishna is bringing out that concept now. We thought Shraddha was absolute, universal. Across, for everybody, Shraddha should be there, correct? But today, they define Shraddha from a different angle. So let us see why this concept comes is Arjuna asks Krishna, you told that everybody should follow Shastra. So, Shastra. And what if people don't follow? Why do people don't follow Bhagavad Gita or Upanishad or Brahma Sutra or whatever? These are the three major Shrutis which we should follow, written by Vedavyasa. Why do people don't follow them? One is they may not be having faith. Second thing is they are not exposed to it. Nobody told them. There was no conditioning. As well, their nature does not get inclined. There is no aptitude. Why there is no aptitude? That is discussed in today's session. So, one or the other way, they are not following Shastras. But Arjuna asks, no? अर्जुन उवाच ये शास्त्रविधिमुत्सृज्य यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेषां निष्ठा तु का कृष्ण सत्त्वमाहो रजस्तमः. So he is asking him, those who setting aside the ordinance of Shastra, ye Shastra vidhim utsrujya. Utsrujya means they have given up. So they don't follow Bhagavad Gita, they don't follow any of these Shastra, but perform sacrifice. Sacrifice means, let us take, they perform all the worship or work with Shraddha. With Shraddha, as we discussed, Shraddhayalliruvodu, with devotion, with commitment. What is their condition? Tesham nisthatuka. What is their condition? Is it sattvic, sattva, rajas, tamas? So he is asking Krishna, if you said those who follow Shastra, those who follow the whatever is prescribed there, they are really divine. That means sattvic people. Now they don't know, they are not exposed, but they have Shraddha. Then Krishna asks him, what is the meaning of Shraddha, you think, Arjuna? That is what he says. In this chapter, he defines this Shraddha as three. Sattvic Shraddha, Rajasic Shraddha, Tamasic Shraddha. Shraddha also has Sattvic component, Sattvic Shraddha, Rajasic Shraddha, Tamas, they are also categorized into three. All these days we thought Shraddha means only one. Here he says three, and he defines the mindset of these people. That is what it is dealing with. We knew that these are gunas, but what this guna means, they behave, how they perform. Here also exactly what is that, how do they worship Krishna? Arjuna asks, how do they worship? Yajna, yajante. How do they worship? How do they perform sacrifice? He asks. So, whether you worship here, he says, whether you worship or eat or perform sacrifices here, he talks about worship and yajna, dana, tapas, ahara. Worship, apart from worshipping, how do they sacrifice and how do they perform austerity, tapas, yajna, and how do they give charity, and what is their food habits? In other words, Shraddha defines a personality. So Shraddha itself, he has gone to the root of the gunas. Root of the guna is their mindset. That is a Shraddha. So let us see how they perform. This defines how a person should evolve. He has defined divine and demoniac qualities. Now he talks about the disposition. They use the word mental disposition, psychologist. That's what Swami Jagadatmanandaji has given, and also Mukundanandaji have referred his translation also. Mental disposition is how they utilize their mental energies, how they perform. Let us see what it means. Shri Bhagawanuvacha त्रिविधा भवति श्रद्धा देहिनां सा स्वभावजा सात्विकी राजसी चैव तामसी चेति तां शृणु. So he says, Trividha bhavati shraddha. Arjuna, threefold is the shraddha of the Dehinam. Dehinam means embodied, means human beings, people like you and I. So threefold is a shraddha. There are three types, which is inherent in their nature. Dehinam sa swabhavaja. It comes out from their swabhava. Swabhava is their nature. Swabhava is dependent on the gunas, obviously, which is inherent in their nature, namely sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Listen now about in detail about these. So he's talking about swabhava. That swabhava decides the shraddha. We have discussed about swabhava earlier also. Swabhava means nature. Nature means guna. So that shraddha will decide. Shraddha will decide uh, his swabhava, and swabhava in turn will decide his behavior, his personality. If you see, now if you understand, we can categorize people also. But as we said earlier, when we describe the gunas and we describe the divine and demonia, instead of judging people, we must see how it applies to me. How, where do I stand? Where should I go? And how should I? Where am I now? How should I go? Because swabhava will never change unless a person puts an active effort. It is already there. What is this swabhava? Once again, we can recollect. Swabhava depends on samskar, tendencies, and vasanas. Tendencies and vasanas. Tendencies or samskara, and vasanas. Vasanas means I cannot use a like most English word for that. These are our attachments, to which we cling, to which we to which we give so much importance. Like they are deep rooted in our subconscious mind. So these are the two things majorly that define from the previous birth. In addition to that, external influence. That also how we have reacted in the past to different experiences, how we have analyzed them, how we have interpreted them, that will make our swabhava. The same kind of challenges or difficulties will be faced by different people, but how he perceives it, that depends on his swabhava. How he perceives it depends on the swabhava. Somebody, let us say, uh, an elderly man comes and shouts at somebody. There will be two individuals standing on the bus stop, let us say, and they are in their own world watching the mobile. There is a third, they're sitting on the bench on a bus stop. I'm just giving you a very hypothetical, which is commonly observed though. An elderly person, maybe in the bus or in the bus stop. Both of these will not get up. Ideally, they must get up and give seat to the elderly person. This person becomes very angry and he shouts at both of them. One fellow becomes very angry and he gives back, and this is none of your business, this is public space. The other person gets up and makes him sit, and both are friends. He says, how can you give him, how, and he shouted at you angrily, don't you have self-respect? And all. Says, chodo yaar, he's an elderly person, he's like my grandpa. And see, elderly people, no, we should respect. So these two are friends. I'm not saying brothers, or even brothers also, there will be difference. So each person this person has reacted in one way, the other person has reacted in another way. This is very simple observation, but it depends on, we say, ನಿಮ್ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದಾರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಅಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ಎಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ನೋಡು. ಬಟ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್. ಅಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲುಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್. Plus, it depends on, majorly it depends on how he has been reacting from his several births. Because, as I told you, Swabhava is related, it is tightly woven in the subtle body, that subconscious mind, subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, subtle body, which moves from one body to the other, accumulating these impressions, and continuing with the swabhava in a forceful way. The same swabhava will continue until an individual puts an effort to change the direction. It gathers, as I said, momentum. It is like that. The Prakriti is designed like that. So um, he says Shraddha depends on the swabhava of an individual. Each person has different Shraddha. Sattvic person's Shraddha will be like that person who gave seed to that elderly person without getting angry, because that has been his conditioning. And another person shouted, because maybe our manil kuda, or he would have reacted like that. Anybody who touches me, I am touch me not. I will scream, I will shout, I will overreact. Adu personality. So these are the two different personalities like that. And we know that defines Rajasic, this defines Sattvic. Tamasic would be totally ignorant, Baidroshte, Bidroshte, very, very Adasitanadu. Gunas, those three gunas. All this depends on this Swabha. So there could be genetic influence, but genetic influence, according to our scriptures, it is automated. The soul decides where it has to take birth, which will fulfill its desire, and it will help itself to clear its karma. So it will choose. When it has chosen its parent, genetics will automatically come. Genetic comes as a pre-decided, predetermined fate of that soul. I hope you're understanding. The soul wanted to take birth in those parents, therefore, automatically genes will come. And obviously, that family, environmental influence, and wherever, everything is predestined. But, anyways, the impact of that will make a person what he is, and his swabhava will decide who he is, that personality. So, uh, this he says there are three types of Shraddha, and that depends on the swabhava, and Satviki, Rajasi, cha, Tamasi, cha iti. You listen to me now and then. So, various types of Swami Ranganathanandaji's words I will read. So, these three are different mindsets. Minds or mindsets. Minds coming out of the past experiences in this birth, out of past actions, and impact of the world upon the individual. All these shape the mind, and that is what we are today. And you can change it in future. That means human disposition is natural state, but you can alter it. But right now you are what you are, but from now you can change depending on your influence. So now he says सत्त्वानुरूपा सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत श्रद्धामयोऽयं पुरुषो यो यच्छ्रद्धः स एव सः. Shraddha of each person is according to his or her natural disposition. Sattvanurupa means natural disposition. Sattva on the core. Here we are using with that. That is a term. Sattvanurupa means Shraddha of any is a mental disposition, mindset, and he's a bundle, as I said. So his Shraddha depends on his mindset, or his mindset defines his Shraddha. They are interconnected. I mean, that's what it defines. So he says this Shraddha is according to his or her natural tendency. Duryodhananige, Krishna ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, why do you do this ಅಂತ. So there's very interesting shloka. He says, I know I should not be doing this. ಇದು ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದು, ಇವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ I should not be jealous. But something within me is pushing me. I cannot control, he says. That is Swabhav, where there is no effort done by Duryodhana. There is no effort done. Last session we discussed about how Valmiki changed, how Angulimal changed, because that Swabhava got changed. They met a guru and they changed. So this Swabhava also, what we are. But if we meet a right person, if that external impact somewhat, we make an effort to listen and see, maybe it gives a change, or we start going through Shastras, or we get influenced by our friends, colleagues, it can change. Until then, it doesn't. Until then, it will go with full force, actually, according to his or her nature. What is that? Shraddha. That means all the three gunas have their own belief systems. I believe in this. You believe in that. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in Shastras. I don't believe in going early to the going on time. what is the use ಅಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರ್ತಾನೆ. I don't mind, skipping, I don't mind just signing off and going somewhere. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, no, 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 we should not do that. Another person will say, no, that is not truth. So like that, every person has his own set of beliefs, and that is what is shraddha. So shraddha of any individual will be in accordance with his mental disposition. And the human being, next statement says, shraddham ayoyam purusho yat shraddha sa evacha. An individual is according to his or her shraddha. He is. Andre, we categorize ಇವನ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ. It is a judgment of a person only. According to his shraddha, he will behave. He will do everything. All his actions are unique. Unique means that category of people. 3 categories only. So 3 shraddhas, 3 types of actions will be there, and you can make out to which shraddha he belongs to. You can start thinking and see people around us what shraddha. And it won't change, actually. It won't change. But in between, they may do some different, sattvic can become rajasic, tamasic, but majorly, again, they come back to sattvic. Or a rajasic person, in between, he may behave to be very sattvic, very divine, again, he goes back. So that defines the majority, through the proportion of that will be predominant. So that is what it says. Yat shraddhaha sa evacha. Whatever is his faith, that is how he is. That is what his personality will be. So in the entire chapter, he will describe how do they behave, how do they perform, what they are expected to perform. That because Arjuna asks, they have shraddha, no? What is the need for shastras? Shraddha idre sakappa. Shraddha edr mele, devar mele shraddha. Now he says what type of worship they will do, what type of yajna they will do, and what do they expect. Very interestingly, he says, because when we understand, are we doing any of these? Then we are not supposed to do, because we have faith in this scripture. We are following Bhagavad Gita. So once we come to know this, then we can control whatever we are doing, if it is not according to Sattviki Swabhav. Because liberation or evolution, we need not call even liberation, our evolution step by step, is when we go towards Satvikada. Yajante Satvika Devan Yaksharaksham Rajasaha Pretan Bhutaganan Yajante Tamasa Janaha. So now what do they worship? That was precisely what Arjuna asked. They are worshipping through shraddha. So even though they don't follow scriptures, probably it may be okay, no? Krishna anta kelartana Arjuna. Now Krishna is saying, now there should be, depending on their shraddha, I have told you there are 3 types of categories of shraddha. People fit into these 3 mindsets, these 3 personalities. Sattvic people worship the devas, devatas. Quiet agirtare. Devatas are who are these devatas? They are the kind of ministers who have taken up the responsibility, energies under the Parabrahman to perform various things, isn't it? Our scriptures say that Varuna is for the rain, Indra is for rains, and Vayu is for the wind, Varuna is the water. So like that, they take care of the environmental systems outside as well as within the body. We have Abhimani Devata, they say. There are different energies which regulate all the physiological systems. So a sattvic person has this knowledge, and he believes in the arrangement of the Parabrahman, and he has faith in that everything is rational, whatever is given in scriptures. And he even if he doesn't follow scriptures, he somehow believes that there is a supreme God, and I should worship gods and goddesses. Even if he doesn't follow shastras, his behavior and his preference of the altar, whom he will worship the devatas. What will the Rajasika people worship? They worship yakshas and rakshasas. So yaksha means Kubera and other They are in between the devatas and asuras. They are good also, and they are people. Kubera, for example, he is kind of not as pure as Deva. He doesn't get that position, but he can bless with wealth. So we know that Rajasic people are more into enjoyment, ambition, position. So they will worship Kubera and his associates. They may not come to Deva Devatas, Vishnu, Shiva, Lakshmi, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಇವು ಬೇಡ ನಮಗೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್ಲಿ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್, ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ವೆಲ್ತ್, ಈ ತರ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ವರ್ಷಿಪ್ ದೆಮ್. And what will the tamasic people do? Apart from being alsi, lazy, and all that, they worship the pretas and bhutas. Pretas and bhutas andre, these are occult energies. Occult energies, and even today, they do worship. There are some movies which come out, and we have, I don't know, I think, Suvarchala, you know, no? Yendamuri Virendranatha. How many have read his novels? You know,
I
Telugu.
yes, ma'am.
Anybody else has read about his novels? Kavita, have you read Kannadadalli, the translations?
No,
I
ma'am.
used, I used to read. Oh, he has written novels which he has witnessed. Black magic. Andre, what? There are people, apartment houses alle ಮಾಡಿದಾರಂತೆ. He has written stories. He has written novels which are based on true stories. True stories. Even today, there are people who believe in this. Uh, it's not tantra is good actually in a wrong way. It is. It's called Vama Vama Tantra, the wrong way of using Tantra. And they, when they want to do bad for others, uh, in Sattvic, so when those are the things, and they do it at midnight, and ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂತ, there are people, still there are people, and so these are the objects of worship for Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Apart from that, when Sattvic person worships Deva Devatas, he will consider them as a very, ಸ್ಮೈಲಿಂಗ್, ಆ ದೇವತಾನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಕೂಡ ವೆರಿ ಪ್ಲೆಸೆಂಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಸೇಕ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಷಿಪ್. ಆ ತರ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಷಿಪ್, ಭಕ್ತಿ, ದಟ್ ಭಕ್ತಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ಯೂರ್. ಹಿಸ್ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್, ಭಕ್ತಿ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್. ದೇವ ದೇವತಾಸ್ ಈ ಆಫರ್ಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್, ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್, ನೈವೇದ್ಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. Rajasika Mandi, they offer luxurious Naivedyam ante, and they worship these Kubera, Auru, Yuru, maybe Yaga, Yatnya, Madi, Ataranu, Madabodu, and particularly gods and goddesses of wealth who can give us instant gratification, instant boons bekavri. That Rajasic people. Tamasic people are these kind. They worship at night, and they offer blood from animals, and sometimes human sacrifices are also done. Even today it is there in some rural parts. And so apart from these are the three different types of these are the three different categories, and this is how they worship. Apart from that, Swami Aparajitananda has given beautiful explanation also. It also means they will be having a company of such people. Sattvic people, their swabhava is such that they get associated with holy people. They visit temples, they visit ashrams, they interact with holy people, they interact with knowledgeable people, they interact with role models, those who are into social service, those who are doing selfless service. So this is a kind of company they keep. Whereas Rajasic people want to move in circles which will benefit them in their business, their growth, like politicians. And I mean, where there is no principle of friendship, that relationship is totally what I should say, matlabi, business oriented. Andre, there is a agenda, hidden agenda for any kind of association with people, and it keeps changing. We have seen in movies also, real also, they keep changing the parties, they keep changing association. That circle which considers them, which they feel, if they move with such people, the society will look up to them, Ithra, because they're concerned about all these things rather than going into the core principle. So, Idu, that means they are totally into the external world of success, business, and here and there they may not hesitate to use non illegal methods also. So, that is the Rajasic. Tamasic is extremely worst. They meet gangsters, underworld dons, and murders. I mean, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ black magic, witch, ಅದು when they want to, uh, actually it works, they say. That is a vidya, tantra vidya. ಅಲ್ಲಿ they have shown in ತುಳಸಿ ದಳ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮೂವಿನೂ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. I used to read, and he is very good writer, Endamuri Virendranath anta. Now I recollected when I read about this. Only they keep the photographs of the person whom they want to, who want to suffer physically. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಂತ್ರ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಹುಡುಗಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ತಂದೆಗೆ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಏನೇನೋ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್. Actually, I asked one question to one Swamiji, whether they say drushti ಬೀಳ್ತದೆ, people have bad eyes. People have this notion, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಪ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ. Some people, I don't believe in that, but still I asked him, is it true? He said no, it's not, unless because I was asking, are people jealous of people? Can their thoughts impact the lives of others? He said not necessarily, unless they are very strong and they use such yantra tantra ಇಂಥವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ it will affect. Otherwise they are not, unless they are very very strong ಅಂದ್ರೆ too much of negativism, that can affect a sattvic person. It can affect a sattvic person. Better to avoid. But that, more than that, they say this one, if they are so tamasic that they go and approach a tantric and then they want to do, then it will definitely. So we do have such people. They move around, and so adike tamasic people, gangsters, so underworld dons, murderers, all these belong to this tamasic, and they do worship these uh, witches, black magic ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. So everything they do. So we have to take care of mental disposition. If we are tamasic, hardly not. Most of us, I mean, at least as I said, those who are referring to Bhagavad Gita, it is a grace of God that it has directed us to read Bhagavad Gita. It is not everybody's cup of tea. It is our cup of tea because we have got grace of God. So mostly we are in sattvic, but in between, if we get deviated towards the lower thing, then uh, we can. One second, I will just take this call because tomorrow. So, uh, so that's how these people worship. These three categories of people worship because that is their shraddha. They believe, their belief system is ಇದರಿಂದನೇ ಆಗೋದು, ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಆಗೋದು, ಇದು ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಆಗೋದು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹೊಡೆದೇನೆ ಬಡದೇನೆ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್. ರಾಜಸಿಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೆರೆಯೋದು, ಅಂಬಿಷನ್, ಪೊಸಿಷನ್, ವೆಲ್ತ್, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ಟು ಎನಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಐ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಆಫ್ ಸಚ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಐ ಶುಡ್ ವರ್ಷಿಪ್ ದೀಸ್ ದೇವರಿಗೆ. ಸಾತ್ವಿಕ್ ಮಂದಿದ್ದು objective itself is to grow, to become selfless, to evolve. So I need the help of Devatas. Others are not so important to me. So therefore, now this is a swabhava, right? Now we also have to be putting continuous effort to remain in sattvic. It's not that we are sattvic always. Observant irbeku. Just like we talked about gunas and divine qualities, here also we should try to keep our mindset, our swabhava, not let it get influenced by other vibrations or talks or people's words, which may tend to pull us down. You know, because navella grahastru, we are all household. We are not sannyasis. We are living amongst people of different categories, and we may be having good people. They also be, but at times, however strong we are, however sattvic we are, we tend to get influenced. That is something. ಅದು ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. The sattvic may become rajasic at times. It may be drawn. Avaga we should be little bit aware, and we should always try to elevate our rajasika sattva, rajasic guna by sattvic. That also Krishna has told in that chapter. Sattva has to override this rajas. Rajasic has to override the tamasic. That is how we should make a continuous effort to keep ourselves. Actually, the human mind is a balance of the three, right? It cannot be only sattvic. It has to have all the three to survive. So, but we have to see that predominantly we are sattvic. We don't go down beyond this. Ashastra vihitam ghoram तप्यन्ते ये तपो जनाः दम्भाहङ्कारसंयुक्ताः कामरागबलान्विताः कर्षयन्तः शरीरस्थं भूतग्राममचेतसः मां चैवान्तः शरीरस्थं तान् विद्यासुरनिश्चयान्. So he says, those who practice ashastra vihitam ghoram tapyante ye tapo janaha. Some people, those people who practice severe tapascharya, austerities, not as per the shastras, because of dambha ahankara, hypocrisy, arrogance, and egoism. Because of that, they give up that shastra. Arjuna told, no, they have shraddha. What type of shraddha? Which is mixed with ahankar, dambha, darpa, and kama raga balanvitaha. Kama raga means desire, power of lust and attachment. They are very strong. They have good lot of lust in them. They have attachment in them, which has led to dambha, that is show off, hypocrisy or pretentiousness, and egoism. With this kind of shraddha, these people perform some austerities, and they don't follow these are not mentioned in shastras, and they don't want to follow, right? They don't want to follow. Such people, since they are senseless, they torture uh, all the organs in the body. They perform such austerities which will strain their body completely. It will drain its energy, and they will take so much of strain just to show off. Nanit Martin, Nanat Martin. We can see some examples also. And they will also, actually, it says, Kashayantaha Sharirastham Mam Chaiva Antaha Sharirastham. It will be kind of torturing me also, who lives in this body. Know them and know these people to be of Asuric resolve. These are Asuri people. You told Shraddha, no, Arjuna. We have to read between the lines. Arjuna, there is another, I mean, among these people, these three categories, there is also one that they are Asuri people who will perform these yajnas disregarding the Shastras. I don't want to follow, I know what it is. I will do what is he trying to describe here is there are some people who want to show that I can do. Iga ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ರು they walk on the fire and they walk on the ಕೆಂಡ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, the red hot charcoal, they walk on that and they pierce their cheeks. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೋಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತರೋದು ದೇವ್ರ ಹೆಸರ್ಲೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ತಪಶ್ಚರ್ಯ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೋದು. They pierce their tongue. What not nonsense type of tapascharya they do. They call it as tapas. None of these, they are called as dehadandana anta kannadadalli. Torturing your body, one must not do. Upavasa, once in a month, Ekadashi is described in the Shastra. Days together you starve. So few people like, Dhruva, Prahalada, we are not considering them. An average person cannot do, should not do unnecessary starvation. He should not do. Of course, that's what, if he becomes a yogi and then he goes to Himalayas and adbere, we are not talking about that level of people. Common man talking about, and also he puts condition. Why it is not yogi? Because these people, they are full of lust, they are full of attachment. Ashtella itkondu mansalli, what kind of tapas he will do? Tapas means, first of all, very beautifully, your Shankaracharya has given, based on Yajnavalkya Smriti. Smriti, once again, Smriti means written by Yajnavalkya, right? It's a Shastra only. So there he says tapas or austerity basically means concentration of energies of the mind and sense organs. Tapas andre how much we are able to control. Control means when I want, I should use. When I don't want, it should listen to me. ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ತಿಂಡಿ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಈಟ್, ಐ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದಟ್. But sometimes when everybody is there, when there is a feast, when there is prasad or something, aha, nan tinnalla, I have taken an oath, Allah, I should be able to eat. So both ways. Last class also, in the last chapter also, we discussed any quality, no, it should be used in both the ways. Where it should be used, where it should not be used, when I can leave it loose, when I can control. To control idre tapas anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. And entire life, the purpose of evolution is to see how best we can control. You observe, you will have, each one of us will have weaknesses, and getting over them is not at all easy. Small, small things need not be kama, krodha, lobha, the beda. Even physically also, a disciplined life lead consistently because it's not that easy. When we are able to do that, today I have to get up at 5 o'clock, I have to go. Sometimes we do that consistently every day. I want to do this every day. This should be my schedule. Not that easy. If we are able to do that, if we are able to control our talks, if we are able to control our body language instantaneously, I should tell my mind, then that is tapas. So tapas, usually it is used in colloquial terms as a tapascharya. Andre kutkoltare, ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ಕುತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. Then they don't eat for this thing, or they perform hatha yoga. Where tapascharya correct, but tapas actually means austerity of body, speech, and the mind. Body, speech, and the mind. If my mind is going down, I must be aware and lift it up. This is my tapas. My tapas is to keep myself in a steady state. Swami Ranganathanandaji's statement I am reading. Tapascharya means, tapas means we must be able to maintain something in a very, very steady state. If I have to study for 3 hours a day, I must be able to do as a student. If we are, even for a swadhyaya, is every day 1 hour. If I have to read something, I have to do it every day, come what may. If I have to do meditation, I should be able to do it. If I have decided not to speak lie, then I should follow it. I may keep quiet, not telling anything, but I should never speak lies unnecessarily. So that is tapascharya. But otherwise, and this tapas should be prompted with selflessness towards evolution, not this way, what Krishna is saying. On the contrary, if people are doing that tapas just to put a show off, ಅವ್ರು ಕೂತಿದಾರಂತಪ್ಪ, ಅವ್ರೇನೋ ಒಂದ್ ವಾರ ಉಪವಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಂತೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಇದು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ವೇ ಹಿ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಸಾಧನ, ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ, and hidden agenda will be there. If I do this tapas, I will check. Just like our Hiranyakashipu, what did he do? He did a ghor tapas to please Brahma. Nobody should kill me. Full of kamandha. Lust is there. Balan, kama, raga, attachment to his position is there. This is a classical example, and therefore he was Asuri. That is why he's taken as an example. So, and because of kama and dambha, ahankara, if they do, that is not. And these people, no, they will be torturing themselves and me. Will consciousness or God get affected? Will he get tortured? No. But why he has mentioned this is that we must take care of our body. On one hand, spirituality says, do not be body conscious. You must not, you should not identify yourself with this body. You are the pure Atman, which is within. Idu bari prakriti, maya. That is correct. At the same time, we must not disrespect, because body is considered to be a temple in which there is a Jivatma. So we cannot ignore. We must value each and every cell. We have to value. We should not put it under. We should listen to our body's uh, signals, demands. ಹಸಿವಾಯಿತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಟ್ಟಬಾರ್ದು ಅದನ್ನ. We can have a discipline. If it is tired, we need to sleep. We should not stretch it. We should not overstretch. So these things, no, even though we are sattvic, many times we oversee, we overlook. The inference of this is that Asuri people are kamanda or they like, but even for people like you and I, many times we take the body for granted. So we should not take. This is the inference I am making for myself, and I'm sure it will be, because as we age, no, my mother used to tell, whatever suits us, we should follow. Whatever she used to tell, if I eat idlis at night at this time, I will start getting acidity. Eat idli tindre acidity na, idli tindu bhari aitappa. I used to, make fun of her. Now, as I age, I understand. When you age, you know what your body, what suits your body, which food will uh, cause trouble. We should avoid that. So we must be cautious and take care of our body like a temple. Cleanliness, external and internal. No toxins. We should not take any toxins. No, disciplined eating, disciplined exercise, disciplined physical fit. Everything should be taken care. So the body must be given importance to a reasonable extent, because if the body is fit, then only we can read Bhagavad Gita, we can do sadhana, and we should not always tell enough now, I should die. Adi endu helbaaರ್ದು. Never, ever, ever we should tell. Because without this body, without this ears, eyes, now we are sitting and discussing. We have to enjoy and as much as possible, because this birth, this environment we have got, which is very rare. So we must take care of our body and mind, so much so that we should be fit to do our spiritual practices, karma yoga also. Till the last, Mangala used to tell, our group, another lady is Dr. Mangala. She used to, I want to die like Abdul Kalam. Very nice. He used to do so much of, his mind was so pure, so sattvic, and he died he had a very good death. He was giving some lecture and he collapsed there. So, like that, our every moment of our life should be used meaningfully. So, until then, we must take care of our body. So, otherwise, it will disturb the Atman, which is trying to express through this body. Atman consciousness is expressing. When I am discussing Bhagavad Gita, it is the consciousness which is expressing. When you are listening, it is a consciousness which is reflecting through this, sound waves. I mean, it's taking that input. So that is again a consciousness. It's the energy. So the body is a medium for expression of that consciousness in various forms. So we should never ignore our body, but we should not become obsessed with body consciousness also, so much so that it gets involved in lust, body pleasures. No, that should not be there. Only fitness with the purpose of, safeguarding and allowing the consciousness to express. So that he says. So these people who torture themselves like this, standing, Swamiji was telling one more example. One person used to stand on one foot and then with hand upwards for 12 years with some purpose. He wanted something. He did that. So that is not correct. That kind of Hatha Yoga is not correct. If you, even Hatha Yoga is one of the yogas, but for evolution, for liberation, that's a different aspect. Now he says, Aharastvapi sarvasya trividho bhavati priyaha yajnastapastatha danam tesham bhedamimam shrunu. He says, the food. Now he has talked about the worship and the tapas. Now he says, food also, which is liked by them, is threefold. According to the Shraddha, they prefer that food, he says. And also the Yajna, and also Tapas and Dana. Listen to this distinction. He spoke about one shloka about one this part about tapas, but he is going more in detail. What is sattvic tapas? What is rajasic tapas? What is tamasic tapas? What is sattvic yajna? What is rajasika yajna? What is tamasika yajna? And similarly, what is a dana? What type of dana, or how do sattvic shraddha gives dana? Like that. Yajna, dana, tapas, and ahar. Four things he said I will describe. Each category, what are those and that. So beautiful. So he says sacrifice we told. So how do they give charity and that? आयुः सत्त्वबलारोग्य सुखप्रीतिविवर्धनाः रस्या स्निग्धा स्थिरा हृद्या आहारा सात्विकप्रियाः. What is satvika ahara? They don't give example. They give the quality of food. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಲ್ಲ, ವಾಟ್ ಸೂಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಮೇ ನಾಟ್ ಸೂಟ್ ಅನದರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್. Says foods which will increase the longevity, ayu sattva, longevity and vitality. That means we should be energetic throughout. So that kind of food, and the food that gives strength, balam, arogya. That means strength and health, cheerfulness, sukha, Preeti Vivardhana. Preeti here refers to which is satisfying. When we eat, we should feel it is improving my health, it is improving my strength, and it is improving my satisfaction. And rasyaha means juicy food stuff, that which is juicy. And snigdhaha means succulent, and sthira means nourishing. Vrudya is pleasant to heart, pleasant, you feel good, when you eat. Aha, tampat nodru, hriday tampat ante. These are all sattvic food. So beautifully he has told. He doesn't say eat cucumber, eat tomatoes, ade helalla avanu. Any food that you feel for you, right? It improves your vitality, improves your strength, makes you satisfying, and it gives you, it feels, calm, pleasant to heart, and uh, nourishing, and juicy, succulent, right? So these are the types of food which are classified as sattvic as per Krishna. He says like that. So in this, no, one statement I will make. uh, the same type of food, no, even among Sattvic, I am reading as per Swami Ranganathanandaji only. What he says is, what is food for somebody can be a poison for another person. The food depends on so many things, isn't it? His family background, his ethnic background, geographical area. So we cannot say strictly that. Even Swami Vivekananda says that this all vegetarian food is sattvic antanu ಹೇಳಿಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಿಷನ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಸೇ. ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಸೂಟ್ಸ್ ಯು ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇದು ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಫಿಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಇಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಇಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಡೂ, ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಫೀಲ್ಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ವೇ, that is sattvic for you. And it is not only food, no, there are many other things for your shraddha. What type of worship you do, whatever food you take, what type of yajna you do, what type of dana you do, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ combined scores ಏನಿರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, that will define your sattvic shraddha. So one food may not suit another, one type of food. ಅದೇ ಹೇಳ, cucumbers, tomatoes somebody may be allergic to that. Food, lactose intolerance may be there. Milk is sattvic, but lactose intolerance is the genetically, we don't know. So you cannot tell which type of food, but generally they say vegetarian food and natural, without pesticides, all these obviously they are, but it is not a very hard and fast food. And very clearly they say here that what suits you, you try. And I mean, interpretation I'm saying, Krishna has given only the quality of food. What suits you, you decide. ನನಗಿದು ಇಷ್ಟ, ಇದು ಸೇರ್ತದೆ, ನಾನು ಈ ತರ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಐ ಪ್ರೇ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಫರ್ಟೇಬಲ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ಲೆಸ್, then no problem. You cannot generalize the type items. Sattvic items cannot be generalized. Katvam lalavanatyushna तीक्ष्ण रुक्ष विदाहिनः आहारा राजसस्येष्टा दुःख शोकामय pradaha. The foods that are katu amla. Katu andre bitter, amla is sour. Amla ನೆಲ್ಲಿಕಾಯಿ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ amla, sour. And lavana, saline, salty. ಉಷ್ಣ is heat, excessively, ತುಂಬಾ ಬಿಸಿ 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 ತಿನ್ನೋದು, ಬಾಯಿ ಸುಡೋ ಹಂಗ ತಿನ್ನೋದು. And then ruksha means pungent. And then vidahinaha, dry and burning, are liked by rajasic people, and they are productive of pain, grief and disease. They produce pain, grief and disease. If you remember, rajasic people are anxious. They are always worried about something, and a lot of diseases happen because of, as we said, stress, psychosomatic. Physically also they are not comfortable. They prefer this food, or because of this food, they are interrelated. So bitter, sour, excessive ಇರಬಾರ್ದು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ bitter ಇರಬೇಕು. ಎಕ್ಸೆಸಿವ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಬಿಟರ್, ಸೋರ್, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹುಳಿ ಬೇಕಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಹುಣಸೆ ಹಣ್ಣು ಹಾಕ್ತಿವಿ, ಲಿಂಬೆ ಹಣ್ಣು ಹಾಕ್ತಿವಿ, ಬರೀ ಹುಳಿ 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 ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಅಂಡ್ ಖಾರ, ಪಂಜೆಂಟ್, ಡ್ರೈ, ಬರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ, ಬಾಡಿ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್. Since we are not, though it is rejecting, still we eat, andre the cells will start burning, isn't it? That is how we get gastritis, no? The gastric mucosa is so mm, delicate, and we try to load with all these things which bring about damage, cellular damage. If you see bitter or sour, they don't, the pH doesn't match with the cellular pH problem. So that's how we get diseases. So if we are getting on to this now, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ, if we are preferring this, we must observe how is my mental condition after eating these kind of foods. And very subtly, if you observe, ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮವಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ, I am not feeling good, restless. So why am I not feeling so good? Why I am not able to sleep? Sometimes it happens. So probably the food would have caused, this kind of food would have caused. We can check what type of food I have had, either in the morning, afternoon, or at night. What time did I have? So this may be the reason where it can cause damage. And so our swabhava should change. I should avoid. I should avoid. It may be very tasty, but not good for me. It's not good for me. So my tapas will come there. I like it. I get tempted to eat pav bhaji, pani puri, masala puri. Pani puri antu yaro no. Andhra obnidanala. So much spicy it is, but it's so tempting. It is very tempting. It gets disturbed. Once in a way, it's fine. But if we yield to that temptation, then we become, the Rajasika Shraddha comes there. That means we are not adequately doing our proper tapas. How tapas should be done, it tells. Now, last shloka for the day. Yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat uchishtamapi chamedhyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. I should not comment, but I cannot stop actually. That food which is stale, okay, tasteless, stinking, cooked overnight, refuse, and impure is the food liked by the tamasic. They like ante, not by due to helplessness. Iga sometimes, no, many times we have done, we cook at night, keep it in the fridge, eat in the morning, because we don't have time to cook early in the morning. We come to work, and if you don't have maids, then we cannot help, isn't it? In the, sorry to say, in the US and all that, it's a very routine thing. We can't help, but prefer ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. If you are helpless, that's a different thing. You want to eat busy food, but you are not able to do. ಅದು ಬೇರೆ. Here, so tamasic people, no, they prefer food which is tasteless, stinking, cooked overnight. Andre, they don't care for the food, is not considered something which is auspicious. Actually, food is energy. Food is the energy. We must consider eating as a yajna. ಊಟ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಯಜ್ಞ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಈಟ್ ವೈಲ್ ವಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಟಿವಿ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ರೀಡ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್, ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಚ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಈಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಡೈಜೆಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಅಹಂ ವೈಶ್ವಾನರೋ ಭೂತ್ವ. I will do the digestion. God, the energy is working as we eat. Prana, Pana, it's happening. That upward and downward flow of energies, which is pushing the peristalsis and which is helping in absorption, assimilation. That is working. So we must align our mind with that process and eat. And food is something which is not easily available. So ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಊಟ ಎಲ್ಲೋ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ತಾಮಸಿಕ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ವೈ ದೇ ಲೈಕ್ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಯಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾನೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಐ ವುಡ್ ಸೇ ಟು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಓನ್ಲಿ, ಮೇ ಬಿ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗಿವ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟೂ ಲೇಜಿ ಟು ಕುಕ್. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿ ಈಟ್, ಮುಂಜಾನೆದು, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನದ್ದು, ರಾತ್ರಿದು, ಹಂಗೆ. At the same time, ನಾವು ಕೂಡ many times, no, waste ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ we eat, no, we should be very careful and be cautious and cook as much as required, not keeping it for next day, after 2 days or something. Try to eat fresh food as much as possible, says Krishna, because food affects the body as well as the mind. Where did I read that? but it affects the mind also. Food gets absorbed. It helps in building the body, the muscles, so the proteins, the carbs, the fats, everything. Apart from that, the type of food definitely determines uh, our mental status. And science, our modern science also has proved, no, gut brain axis, how the food is digested, how it affects the gut microbiome, and what connection it has with the brain. Uh, the neurotransmitters and neuronal transmission gets affected. There is a connection between the GIT and the brain. ಇದನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದದಲ್ಲಿ they have told it, like declared, take care of food. I told this statement when I was working in natural remedies. There was Dr. R.K. Agarwal, chairman. डॉक्टर साहब सब कुछ इधर से शुरू होता है. He used to tell, he show his stomach and he'll say abdomen, सब कुछ यहाँ से शुरू होता है. All disease come from here ಅಂತ 2002. And I'll come to the department and I will keep telling my colleagues, what is this he's telling? Yeah, how can it start? Diabetes, pancreas ಇದೆ, insulin resistance ಇದೆ, where it will start in the abdomen, hypertension, where it will start. See, only GIT related disorders can start in the gut. But today, GIT is considered as one of the major organ, and they say it is responsible for so many immunological autoimmune diseases. So, and immunosuppression, immune related to so many. Apart from that, many other diseases, even diabetes, they have linked in some indirect way to gut microbiome. So, and food, we know diabetes, how it is directly related to the type of food we take. So, therefore, uh, Sattvic people will think about from all the angles, mental health, physical health, everything, and they prefer the food. That's why first he said it makes you feel satisfied. It makes you give vitality. We have to observe our quality of life. In other words, we use that QL. So observation beko. Subtly we have to observe. After food, how do we feel? And whether our diet, when we change the food, what type of food affects us? Does it disturb our thought process? So, ಆ ಥರ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು we have to uh, adjust, or we have to take care of our food. Tamasic people uh, will not worry impure food ಅಷ್ಟು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Anything is okay because they are not, I should say, they are not responders. They are not alert. They are not observing themselves because their Shraddha is different. Shraddha will define your world. Everybody has his own world. That's what we say, no? My world is different, your world is different. Physically, we are here. Mentally, our worlds are different. Sattvic people, if we categorize them, their worlds are different. Rajasic worlds are different. Tamasic worlds are also different. So, accordingly, their interaction, their behavior, their food, their worship, the type of donations they give, everything will change. So now he has discussed about ahar, what type of food he, these three categories will take. Next sessions onwards, what type of tapas they do, what type of sacrifice they do, and what type of charity they do. And then he combines everything and he says, all this will determine their swabhav. Actually, all this, no, as they keep doing, it will influence their, so that means the roots, ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆ that same nature will get deep rooted. If they change their swabhava, at the roots, slowly it will start coming out. That samskara will come out. It will go towards a change. And that change can come only when they are receptive and there is grace of God. They go to Shastras like Bhagavad Gita and they meet holy people. So with that, we conclude today's session. Any additions or anybody wants to add? This is a very practical chapter, I would say. Very practical, wherein